Welcome back to another awkward quickie.
Yeah, this time we're going to be talking about working with the scammer in our YouTube channel, and so you don't have to really. That's why we did it.
So let's delve into this. And one of the...
Well, a little bit of the backstory. So we constantly get emails from scammers, especially on Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. We're constantly getting emails from them.
As soon as we post a video.
As soon as we post a video. A lot of times, too, to our Gmail, which is lostgirlintommorrowland@gmail, is our email. If you're interested in doing like partnerships or anything like that, that's where most people would email us. But we get a lot of scammers in there, too.
And they're always like, hey, like, your SEO, you could reach more people. You could do so much better.
Yep.
And one person, I think this was like last year we had this conversation. They were like, oh, but like you could be monetized. And I was like, oh, yeah? Tell me more. Tell me all about monetization. I didn't know I could make money on YouTube. We were already fully monetized at that point. I was just seeing how far he would take it. And he took it far. Like, he just kept going. And I was like, oh, I'm just so confused. I don't know how none of this works. And it's always the same thing. They always come with the same story. Your SEO could be better. Your views are low. Like, you're not doing this right. And they have not looked at a single thing on our channel.
Yeah, they have no idea about us. That's definitely one of the things. Now, I want to preface this before we start. There's probably some real people that reach out this way. I don't think we've experienced any of these real people, but there probably are some out there. And I would say that if you're considering this, most of them, and 99% are going to be scammers. Something too, like she said, they don't really look at our channel. What they'll do is they take vidIQ, which is a plugin, and it's free. It basically shows you some stats on the video. They'll take a screenshot of it. They'll circle it with like red or square it with red and send it to you like, oh no, these are so bad. Oh, you're doing so bad. And it's just the constant BS. That's what the emails look like. They're very generic, typically broken English, if it's even correct at all. And you're kind of like piecing it through. So we got to the point where we were hitting these all the time. So I made generic responses just to send back. And basically they'd be like, oh, your SEO is low. And I'm like, oh, feel free to take a video and, give us some examples about how to improve it. And most of the time that's where it trails off, because then they'll just start rambling about their prices and stuff. And it's like, oh, you said you were going to try something, so I'm not going to pay you. And that's pretty much where it would end. And so, but we found this one scammer who was like, I want to show you on 3 different videos what I can do, and I'll prove it to you. So I said, okay, go ahead, take 3 videos and do it. And then I got the typical response back with, oh, this is what it'll cost. And I'm like, well, you said you would do 3 videos to prove that you could do something. Yeah. If you're not going to prove it, I'm good. And he's like, no, I'll take 3 videos. Which 3 videos do you want me to do? And my response was, well, you pick it. You're supposed to be the expert, right? And so, of course, he picked the 3 most recent videos because, like Nacy said, they have done no research or any effort put into your channel. And again, these are all red flags. But I was like, I'm just going to keep doing it to see how this goes, because I wanted to do this on the podcast. I wanted to say, like, this is what happened. Now, the guy's name doesn't matter because they're all fake anyways most of the time. And we actually can get, sometimes scammers will email us accidentally, I'm guessing, on 2 different emails at the same time with different names, but it's the exact same photocopied message.
Yep.
So again, name doesn't matter. That's why we're not really saying what the person's name was on here. So he offered to boost it.
Yep.
And so I'm like, you do your thing. So he did something. I'm not 100% sure what he did. But it did supposedly boost our views. And hey, hang on when you think, oh, it did it. It didn't. Okay, so let me just tell you, it didn't. But our counts started going up. So our view count was raising. And it wasn't exponentially or anything, but it was slightly. It was slightly raised over what they had previously been. But not very much. Like normally we'd have like 100 views, and this one was up to 300. So it was like, slightly higher. So he, of course, writes back a few days later, oh, I've done it for 3 days. You'll get it through the weekend. Your numbers are going to be higher. They're going to be so much better. And then you're going to get back to me and let me know what you want me to do. So I gave it 2 days. Again, slightly higher. I went in to look at the other numbers, though. The click-through rate, non-existent. It had actually gone to 0. Normally, it's like 10 to 15% is what we normally see. The watch time. Our watch times are typically about 2/3 of the videos is our watch time average. These were down to like seconds. So most of the views were literally a minute or less.
Which isn't helpful.
Which isn't helpful at all. We weren't getting any new subs from these, and we weren't getting any likes or anything either, so there's no engagement there either.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote back, and I'm like, hey, man, so I looked at your stats. You're claiming it's doing better. Yeah, more people are supposedly viewing the videos, but they're not viewing them at all for less than a minute, and they're not doing anything else when they come to these videos. So my guess is if you've ever streamed like movies and stuff online, sometimes you'll get those commercials that yell really loud at you in a foreign language, and then it'll like switch to a YouTube video, and it's just like this. And typically, it's not in English, the video that they're playing, but I'm imagining they probably showed it to people who don't speak English and showed our video to them, and so they're just seeing part of our video, and as soon as they can click out of it, they click out of it because it's just an ad in their face. The same thing that I do. That's what I'm guessing that was happening. And again, this is a very, very broad guess. It could also be an AI.
Because I'm just going to tell you, he didn't actually tell us what he did.
Yeah, of course not, because it's his secret. That's his secret sauce. Yeah. And we found out in business, and we'll talk about this at our end of the year podcast with other business people in different areas. If they're not willing to tell you what they're doing, they're
probably
deceiving
scamming you.
Yeah, they're deceiving you 100%. So we let it go through the weekend, and then he followed up with, of course, so you want to hire me now? And I said, no. Our numbers are horrible. We actually started losing time. Our watch hours overall had decreased significantly. Like YouTube knew he was doing this clearly because it started restricting our channel to people, and we started having less viewers, less watches. And I was like, this is really, really strange that this happened. But I'm like, no, we're not interested. I'm not going to show you. Well, he came back with, well, I need to do more. I need to do like edits and stuff on the video and like better thumbnails and SEO stuff. But you need to give me access to your channel for me to do that.
Ridiculous.
And at that point, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And I told him, I was literally like, you know, next time you do this, you might want to put your best foot forward. If you're going to sell something, you want to be your best. You don't want to just half-ass it.
Right.
And then come back later and be like, I can really do more.
Yeah.
But I chose not to. Oh, cool.
Yeah, we had a tax person tell us that too. And that didn't end well.
Yeah, that didn't end well. We've learned our lesson. So you're like, well, at least you got more views. Well, hold on now. So now after a week, all of those views disappeared.
Yeah.
So that 300 went back down to the 100 we would normally get.
They were bots. I would almost guarantee that those views were bots.
They were either bots or that the paid advertising on some foreign that didn't matter. And then YouTube was like, I don't like this. But the effects of it we're still feeling. So we have been restricted by YouTube now, clearly, because we're not being shown to as many people as we used to be. And you can tell our numbers are down. It's starting to bounce back. We are starting to bounce out of this, though, luckily. But for at least 2 weeks now, YouTube has restricted us in what we're saying. And understandably, but at the same time, not, because we didn't pay him. We didn't ask him to do this, and he just did this, and now our channel suffers. So why did we do this? Well, we wanted to warn you as a viewer out there, if you're considering doing anything on YouTube or something, we're sharing our journeys with you.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this is how people end up losing their channels, because I have seen so many people that are like, I went to log into my channel and somebody changed the password and stole my channel.
Oh, 100%. I think that if we would have given him access to it, which we never would have done, let me be clear, that was never on the table. But if you give somebody access to the table, all they got to do is change the pay information in your contact, and they own your channel now. Yeah. So it's a stupid and horrible scam, but it's pretty easy. I think it
probably does happen. Yeah. And, you know, there's also the other side of it of them manipulating your channel. And I say no. I say no.
Well, the funny thing was, so when we went into this, I had some preconceived notions of what a scammer would do to our channel. And so you can run Google Ads on a channel, right?
Right.
And it doesn't cost you that much money. It really doesn't, to get it to certain people. Now, of course, you have to do some research and get it to the correct people. Like, you want your demographic to see it. You don't just want everybody to see it. But I figured as a scammer, they would have a Google Ads account. They would throw you out there into Google Ads, just a general Google Ads, pay a couple cents, and that's how they would get you to try to reel it in. But they don't even go that far.
Nope.
And that would at least be legit. Not Lostgirlintomorrowland legit, but legit itself. But they don't even do that. And I was like, that had me. When I went into the scam, that's what I thought they were going to do. And my mind was blown. It was not, they are not even that skilled. Nope. It's just lazy.
Yep.
And again, whoever they were showing it to clearly had no interest in our channel.
Yeah.
So it was just some generic audience. And again, they might not even have spoke English, so that would make sense. If you can't understand what we're saying, what's the point of watching the video?
Yeah, and we're just...
It's fun looking back on it. It's funny looking back on it. But it's definitely a frustrating and annoying experience. And if you're considering even engaging with these people, I've stopped altogether. Like I used to somewhat engage with them, like I told you at the beginning, with a generic email. Now I just delete them and move on.
It's not worth it.
If you're looking for somebody, there are firms and stuff you can reach out to. You can find those online. Look at some of what the bigger YouTubers are using. They're typically listed in their descriptions who they use.
Yep.
Reach out to those people because those are actually going to be genuine people who do this for a living. But do not ever work with a scammer. And on the other note, too, with scammers, we sometimes get the business thing where they're like, oh, you buy this product or whatever and we'll reimburse you. Don't do that.
No.
And also don't do the ones where they're like, we're going to give it to you for free. Because what they do is at the end of the year, they give you a tax form and they say that it costs thousands of dollars for them to give you that $5 item for free. I think that's a huge
thing that people who are content creators that go on and do reviews of products that companies have given them for free, they don't realize that at the end of the year that company can value that product at whatever they want it to value at. So it might sell for $3 on the street, right? But they might tell the IRS that was valued at $300.
Yep.
And you add that up over time, now it's looking like, because that is considered income to the IRS because you got products for free and that company is saying that they paid you in this value, that is now reportable and you now have to pay taxes on that. Yep. So if you do plan on working with a brand, make sure you fully read the contract, fully read what they're valuing the product as, make sure it's in writing.
Yeah.
Because
and try to talk to a tax person and a lawyer too beforehand.
Yeah, just always
protect yourself.
Talk to professionals before you accept anything. Because we've actually gotten multiple requests to use our videos in professional productions, which honestly blows me away still. I'm like, really? Is this real? And most of the time it is real. It's just... they
don't want to pay you anything.
They don't want to pay you for...
Yeah, the Netflix place didn't want to pay us anything for our video. And we're like, if you put us in the credits, we'll be okay. And they're like, we can't do that. Then they're like, well, then you can't use it.
Yeah, then you can't use it because I'm not just going to hand over my stuff to you for free.
So if you're ever considering using a scammer, think about this podcast beforehand.
Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed this awkward quickie.
If you can't do it well, do it quickly.
See you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We just want to take a moment to thank you all for watching the video. To those 90% of you guys out there watching who haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. It really helps our channel grow and reach a wider audience. And for all those other YouTube personalities that you're watching out there, I'm sure they would appreciate it as well. To those that have subscribed, thank you for tagging along with us on our journeys. We appreciate your love, support, your likes, and all those wonderful comments that we're getting to on our videos. So we look forward to taking you on our next adventure. We'll see you on the next one.